Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Maybelline Fit Me Powders, and today we'll be trying 30 and 40, so stay tuned. So just before we get into the video, I'd like to request that you like this video, comment and subscribe, and of course turn on the notification bell, so in that way every time I upload you'll be the first person to see the video. So now we're going to get right into the tutorial. So I've already done my eye makeup, which is just something I was just playing around with, and then I moved on to doing my foundation, concealing, and also contouring. But these two powders that I'm using, I'll be using this one to highlight, and I'll be using this one to set the rest of my face. So I did open these already, so I do have an idea of how they work, and this is what it looks like. It's pretty much a loose powder. It did have a protective seal, but in order to use it today, I will be tapping it into another container that I have, simply because I don't like messing up the cover of the package that it comes in. But of course, if you're traveling with it, you know it is going to separate. So what I'm gonna do right now is just touch up my face, because I do get a little hot under these lights. So before I go in to set my makeup, I will just be using my sponge to absorb any additional oils on my face. So going to just grab a mirror, and I'm going to further pat in the concealer. Under my eyes do crease, so before I set it with any kind of powder, I always try to go over it before putting it in place, because basically however it is set is how your makeup is going to finish. So I just use a bit of this powder. I scrape the excess off, and then I pat it onto my face. I kind of stretch my under eye, because like I said, it does crease. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So that's that. Then of course I'm going to use whatever is left on the other side. So from using this powder for a while, I realized that it does set your makeup pretty nicely, but I feel like if your base is flawed, then it's automatically going to be flawed, even if it's set correctly. So I've been using a primer recently that if I use in the wrong places, it gives me patches, and so that way every time I use everything else, it literally patches up as well. So I'm also going to go on my forehead with this product, because I did highlight my forehead as well, just not as abrupt as the rest of my face. And then I'm just going to allow it to just mildly stay there for a second or two while I go in to contour. So for contouring today, I'm going to be using the Sephora palette, and this is called the Spice Market Blush Palette, and it has a color right here that I like to use from time to time just to give me a very subtle contour. It's almost like a bronzer, but I love using it to contour. So I'm just putting it into the hollows of my cheek, because the blush that I did use was more warm tone just to go with my makeup look. And I just like blending it into the cheeks. I'm not necessarily trying to bake my face today, simply because these are setting powders. They're not meant to be baked, but I don't mind leaving it on the face for a second or two, just so I could brighten my under eyes, as well as the rest of my face that needs the highlight. And then I just use whatever's left, and then I just go along my jawline. So I don't really contour my nose, but when I do, I just squeeze the bristles of whatever brush I have, and whatever is left, I basically just go in just to soften the line. Because I'm not saying I have a perfect nose, but I'm happy with the way my nose looks, so I don't need or feel the need to slenderize that feature of my face. So that's that for now. Next, I'm going to use number 40, and I'm going to put it in the same container that I used before, and I'm just going to hit the product into there. And I kind of get a little generous with it because I do want it to completely camouflage my face. And for that, I'm going to use another blush brush, and I'm basically just going to go under the area I contoured first, and then the rest of my face. So I will have to keep tapping and going in, but this is just my method of how I like to execute my makeup. So the next thing I'm going to do is work on my chin, because whenever I have a cast, it tends to be on my chin or my forehead. It's never really my under eyes, because I tend to be able to camouflage that a lot better. But I go around my chin as much as I can for as long as I can before moving on to other sections of my face. So I basically spend like 10 seconds just trying to buff out small areas, and then so that should be fully, like, to the naked eye right now I can't see any like cast. Everything looks like it's the same color, but of course in the center of my chin I left a little bit of like a halo, but that's fine for me. And I tend to dust the corners of the product first, just so I could blend it into my contour. Because as you know, your highlight and your contour are like two drastically different colors. One is shades lighter than your face and one is shades darker. So it's always good to do something to marry the two products together. So I can see there's like a little halo right on my forehead, but I don't want that in that particular area. So I'm just going to keep blending it out until I see that it has disappeared. And then next, I'm just going to start patting between my brows, leading onto my nose highlight. These areas literally tend to just disappear with whatever's left on the brush. I don't have to work as hard with it. So I'm really happy about that. But I'm still going to use just a tad bit of product to not make it look so highlighted. And then last but not least, we're going to be doing the under eyes. So for this, I use a little bit more. I'm a little bit more generous when it comes to it. So then I just go from the outer parts and then I work my way up to the eye. Because even though it's highlighted, like I said, I don't want it to be too apparent. Obviously, when you're wearing makeup, your face will never look natural. But you don't want any harsh edges when you do your makeup. So I kind of just leave that as it is. So it no longer looks all yellow, it looks highlighted. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so that's that for the face. Well, in terms of using the powders that we are reviewing today. And then I'm just going to do the rest of my face in silence, and then we'll be back for my final review. So my makeup is now finished. Thank you for staying tuned for the process. I do like how the powders wear throughout the day. Like I said, it's not the first time since I've tried this product, so I am pretty familiar with like how the product works, and I will say I am very happy with how the products are. These would be something I'd recommend not to wear on their own, because at least I've never tried them on their own. And like I said, these are finishing powders, so they're more or less to help to finish your makeup, not to be worn on its own. I do like how the number 30 brightened my face, and I do like how number 40 set my face. There's a color in between that's 35, but the undertone is more, in my opinion, more gray. But when I recorded this video for the first time, I tried 30 and 35, and it did still give me a good finish, but it was just like, it wasn't as bright as I usually wear my highlight. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you tuning into this video, and I'm sorry that I couldn't get it out to you last week, but I hope that did not dull your interest in this channel. It is still new. There are still some things I'm trying to figure out. There are technical issues happening behind the scenes. There's like a lot of stuff that I can't personally control, so I'm just trying to get everything together so that whenever I bring content out to you, it is something of quality. Because I would have put the video out last week, however I was not happy with the footage that I got, so I'm really happy that I was able to finally sit down and just tell myself, you are getting this done today. So I'm really happy with how everything turned out, and I hope you guys do not forget to like this video, leave a comment on your thoughts, tell me how you feel about the product, and also do not forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so that you can be amongst the first people to get, for the want of a better term, exclusive content whenever it releases, and if you are interested in following me, select the down bar below just so that you could find out what my Instagram is and what my Facebook information is, and you can connect with me on either platform. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching and staying with me throughout this entire process. I love you. Peace.